Tyrese Haliburton is showing why he was an absolute steal for the Sacramento Kings. Welcome back to Full Court Press. Go subscribe and like this video to support our growing channel. Hit that notification bell so you can be notified of new content. We're planning to post at least 2 videos a week that we don't want you to miss, so subscribe. Hello, Tyrese Haliburton. The Rook has played extremely well for the Kings and is definitely showing why he was a lottery pick and why so many analysts have projected him as a top 5 pick before the draft. So we're going to break down what he's doing really well, why Kings fans should be so pumped about his future. So let's get right into it. Overall, the Kings have struggled, just like any other team early in this season. They're obviously very young, but they do have some serious talent. They're starting backcourt, Buddy Hield, De'Aaron Fox. Obviously, you've got Marvin Bagley in the front court, along with Rashawn Holmes, and then Hassan Whiteside off the bench. So there's some talent there. There's talent there on this roster. Harrison Barnes as well. So then you add in the rookie Tyrese Haliburton. And really, just to be honest, this team has been really bad defensively. The interest, the effort, it's just not been there on that end of the floor. And I feel like, honestly, to get this thing turned around, it just starts with them buying in. It starts with them caring. And I think Coach Walton talked about it a few games ago with the need to start making changes to his rotation. But we'll have to monitor it and keep an eye on it and see if those things actually take place. So now let's dig into Tyrese. Obviously, he's a really good individual defender, and a lot of the struggles that the team are having can't be really placed on him defensively. As we talked about in our first video, when he was first drafted, Tyrese has the skills and ability to be an all-pro defender, and really he's got that desire to put forth the effort, and he showed that when he was in college. It's continued over into the NBA. There are players all over the world, in the NBA especially, that are athletic, could be freaks defensively, but they don't have the drive. They don't have the motivation. And Tyrese Haliburton definitely does. He can sit down and guard and defend anyone. He's averaging about 1.4 steals per game, which is obviously really good for a young guard. And when you look at his last 5 games before the game on Tuesday night, he was putting up about 11 steals within that frame. So over 2 a game. That ability, that size, that length is there. It's so disruptive. So how active a player may not always show up on the box score, especially defensively. But I think he's already really disruptive. He's going to continue to be very disruptive. And we're just waiting on it to rub off on some of the other Sacramento Kings fans. I know I'm not the only one that's waiting for it. Kings fans are probably waiting for it. And Luke Walton is definitely probably waiting for it as well. So we'll keep an eye on that and see what happens. But don't let our talk about defense make you think that Tyrese can't contribute or fill it up offensively either. He definitely can, and he has been very productive offensively on that end of the floor. Thus far, he's averaging about 12 points, 5 assists. Obviously, he's shooting the ball at a really, really high clip, which we love on this channel. He's over 50% from 3, 52 from the field. So he's efficient. Again, that's a really good clip for any player in the NBA, let alone a rookie point guard. And when you just stack those 5 assists on top of that, it just shows you how good and how productive he is, along with how creative he is as a ball handler. And I'm not going to knock any teams or players drafted before him, but there is a Midwest team that took a guard before Haliburton, and there is a team on the East Coast that could probably use a point guard who ended up taking a forward. So I'm happy for those teams. Great for them. Hopefully those players play really well in those cities. But the Sacramento Kings got an absolute steal at 12. We've said it here before. Everyone can see it. And it's up to the Kings to continue to develop him so he can reach his full potential. So now let's dig further into why he's been so effective in these first just under 10 games, playing about 28 to 30 minutes a game. And really it comes down to a couple key things. He can play both guard spots, he can shoot it, he can handle it, and he defends, right? That's all you ask for in a guard. He does it all. So let's talk about the versatility. At 6'5" and as quick as he is, he can play the point, obviously. He's a pure point when he plays the position. So some guys just want to go score. But Tyrese is a pure point guard. He can get you in sets. He controls the pace, the tempo. He doesn't really turn it over a ton. And he's already shown chemistry with some of the other Kings. He's got the height, as we mentioned, at 6'5", and the length. And then when you pair it with his IQ, he understands how to use that frame and size to get himself in a position to make plays. When you have an advantage, especially in the NBA, you have to understand how to leverage it. And when you're a guard and player who is as big as he is, but as fast as he is, you have so many more opportunities because you're just as quick as the smaller guards, but you're bigger. You put them in tough spots. And when you do that, it makes it easier for you to get into the lane, get into the key, and create 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s to make assists. When you pair that up with his ability to play off the ball really well, obviously he can cut, he can move it, he gives you spacing when he's on the court, and then he can knock down shots when he gets the ball. So his release is sort of unorthodox. It looks interesting, but he knocks him down. That's all that matters. So when you're profiling the perfect type of guard that fits today's game, let's be honest. We all wish we were 6'5", had long arms, we were really fast and could jump, right? Well, that's exactly what he is, and it's exactly what he brings to the table. He's tall, he's got length, he has athleticism, and really, he isn't super fast as De'Aaron Fox is, but he's very quick, he's very athletic, and when you pair both of those guys in the backcourt, I'm really excited to see how quick they can play and how they play off each other. So the reason this pick worked out so well, and really we projected that it would looking back to the draft, is again because of that versatility. He can play the point when De'Aaron Fox sits and then share the court with Buddy Hield, obviously. And if you take Buddy out of that lineup and plug Tyrese in, he can defer to Fox, spread the floor, be productive, and shoot the ball off the guard position. You can play all three of those guys like the Kings have done for a game. And that's a result of Haliburton being able to guard some threes on the defensive end on the court. So, again, offensively, he fits every single team. He fits perfectly with the Kings because of what he brings that the other guards sort of struggle with, right? Like, Buddy Hield is an elite shooter, but he's not great at playmaking and defending yet. Tyrese is a great defender, and he can create shots. De'Aaron Fox is so fast, athletic, really smart, but at the same time, he's still working on shooting. Well, Tyrese Haliburton can knock down shots, and he's showing that he helps them so much and averages everything out. So when you have Fox in, you've got a guy playing with him who can shoot it. When you've got Hield in, you've got a guy who can create, play defense, and get Hield open. So overall, from a skill standpoint, he has no weakness. And you hear me talk about a player's skill level a ton on this channel. And that is the key difference. Can a guy make shots? Can he shoot? Does he make great, quick decisions? Can he handle the rock? And all those things add up to a player's overall skill and value to a team. Well, Haliburton has no weakness. Sure, he's slightly underweight, but from a shooting, dribbling, guard, ball handling standpoint, savviness, defensively, he has the IQ. He played for 2 years at Iowa State, and I think that extra year really helped him as opposed to the one-and-done players. So as mentioned before, he can shoot it. He's shooting over 50% from three in the field. He makes free throws, and I'm so impressed with his overall offensive game because really in the NBA, everything just comes down from a coaching standpoint of are you an asset or a liability when you're on the floor? And depending on the part of the game that we're at, that's more important than other times, right? Well, Tyrese Haliburton is an asset every single minute of the game, every day, whenever he is on the floor. He helps you tremendously. We must also temper the expectations, right? He is a rookie. And at some point, he's going to struggle. That shooting percentage will come down a little bit. He'll experience growing pains. But because of his attitude, his poise, where it seems like he comes from, and his work ethic, I feel like he's really going to bounce back well when he hits that wall. And then defensively, like that'll always carry over. We've seen what he can do. He's a good defender. So really, in thinking about this, why couldn't he win Rookie of the Year? I think he could. It may be an uphill climb. Obviously, the Kings are really struggling as a team right now, and that's going to make it a little bit tougher for him. But I think, his impact and the way he's carried himself and played has been so positive. The only bummer with it is just that it has not translated to wins for this team and the Sacramento Kings just yet. So really, that's the beauty of the game of basketball, right? Like it's 5 players working together, and the Kings just have a ways to go. So everything Tyrese Haliburton is doing, he showed this ability and that he would do this on the NBA level in college. It's not like I'm shocked by his play at all because, again, he showed off that skill and these abilities. But you do have to call out and give him the credit that he deserves. Over time, leading up to this point, he's worked on his game. He's worked on his shooting. He's a skilled and developed guard that is all a credit of his work ethic. And the Kings got an absolute gem in this draft. And I look forward to him continuing to be a pillar for this organization and building up what the Kings used to have in the early 2000s when you had Mike Bibby, Peja, Chris Webber, and Vlade Divac. It's tough to find players that compare to Tyrese Haliburton and how well-rounded he is. Tyrese is going to be a pro for an extremely long time, and as soon as he starts to fill out his frame a little bit naturally, he'll get stronger. That weight hasn't been an issue yet. Obviously, the game isn't really physical as it was in like The Last Dance when guys were getting clotheslined, but him just growing into his body more and filling out will help him deal with contact. And obviously, he's going to be deadly. He'll be able to use the strength offensively. He'll be able to fight through contact. And then on the defensive end, he can body up and guard a little bit bigger guys. And you already saw it. When Fox can't play a game or someone's out due to COVID, give the keys over to Tyrese Haliburton. He can run the show. He can get them in sets. The Kings and Luke Walton already trust him. So a lot of coaches don't play rookies. Luke Walton is playing him. He's playing about 30 minutes per game. And Tyrese is only going to grow. He's only going to get better every single night. Obviously, he just started the other night for the first time. So I'm so excited for the Kings. I'm really excited for Tyrese and to see what he does next. And I hope you are as well. So thank you for checking out today's video. We hope you enjoyed it. Go subscribe. And if you haven't already, we look forward to seeing you back really, really soon after you subscribe. Thanks.